Hello, it's Turbo Tim from ZZPerformance. Have another customer car here. Let's call him Kyle. Full 10-second package plus our ZZP ATS-V catback exhaust and the Ecotec fuel pump. So it should be able to run on full E85. Figure we'll do a quick little video of showing how easy the exhaust installs. Hope you like it.
So first steps are, as you're removing the stock exhaust, you want to get the 2-bolt flange at the front, the 2 nuts on there undone. You want to get the slip joint undone on the passenger side, and then you want to take all the rubbers off. You've got 4 here. Keep these 2 rear ones on though.
Ready, Alex?
Sir.
Watch out for the water, they always dump water. Now we're going to remove the 2 hangers in the back.
The first steps for reinstallation are to install the front section. This catback has a front section, mid section, and 2 rear sections. They're all individual pieces, so you install them one at a time. First we'll be putting on the driver's side, and then we'll be putting on the passenger side.
We're reusing the stock gasket on the 2-bolt flange.
The passenger side is a slip fit joint with a exhaust clamp. Don't do this one all the way home yet. Now don't do this one all the way home yet, because you want to be able to look from the front of the vehicle and ensure that it's sitting level with the driver's side.
Clean the bolts up just for aesthetics.
Next, we put in the midsection, which is our X-pipe section, which makes all the magic happen. Then you can reinstall the center exhaust bracket. Now it's very important when you put the midsection in that you push it all the way home on the slip joint. So you want to make sure that it's all the way forward onto the front sections. You can also take a look and make sure that it's sitting nice and central in the transmission tunnel.
We typically leave everything loose until it's all together and then tighten it once we know it's in the position we want it.
Next up, we'll be installing the rear sections. After you have the rear sections mounted, you can redo the 4 bolts, 2 on either side, for the rear hanger mounts. Next, we'll install our ZZP laser cut rear bracket. There are tabs welded onto each muffler. Once again, we just install these loosely to start off with whilst we align the exhaust in the correct position. We've checked that these pipes are sitting level in the car, you do the first exhaust clamp tight. Next, you check that the midsection is pushed all the way forward onto the front section, and you can tighten up the next set of clamps.
Drop down on me.
So this step is really important at the end. Because of the way we've designed the system, there's quite a lot of adjustability in terms of how far you want the tips out to sit proud of the rear bumper, and also making sure that they sit in the rear bumper symmetrically from side to side. So it's important at this point to come and take a look at the rear of the car, making sure the tips are coming out of the bumper at a similar distance. And you also want to make sure that when you tighten the torque touch, that they're pushed up nicely into the area. The final step of the installation is doing up the 4 bolts on the laser cut ZZP bracket at the rear of the exhaust system. I like to make sure that it's sitting nice and flush on the tabs either side before tightening. The final step after you've tightened everything up is to check that you're happy with how the tips are sitting in the rear bumper. After you've done that, if you're running our non-valved version of our catback exhaust, it's best to cover your electrical connectors in dielectric grease and then cable tie them up out the way to protect them. If you choose to eventually run valves again, for example with our valved version, or if you ever return to a stock exhaust, you'll have no corrosion issues inside the connectors. The rear sections of the ATS-V catback are interchangeable, so if you run a non-valved and you decide that you would like to change to a valved version in the future, you can just swap out the rear section. Your front sections and mid sections are the same regardless of whether you have the valve or the non-valve. Our valved version works completely with the stock motors and the stock PCM, so the control inside the car will work just as it does with a factory exhaust system. So there it is, the new ATS-V catback exhaust system from ZZPerformance. The installation is complete. A few final installation tips. Make sure all your bolts are done nice and tightly. We do recommend with the torque tight clamps over the slip joints, really do them tight, ratchet them home. Don't be afraid to really go hard on them using an M18 Milwaukee gun, for example. We recommend after a week of driving around, you just check the tightness on all the nuts and bolts and clamps. Some awesome things about our new catback system, both the valved and the non-valved, everything is fabricated here at ZZPerformance. On our CNC mandrel bender in-house and by our welder fabricators, everything is US made from US companies and all fabricated here at ZZP and goes through our extensive quality control procedures with excellent fixtures. It's a system we're very impressed with and proud of, and most importantly, what you've all been waiting for, here is the startup. Associated with the factory exhaust system is completely eliminated with our new system.